to meet up the challenges that arise today?
I think it's important to understand the business. Understand the business as well as any other business or line manager. Once we do that, the job of a HR professional becomes much more easier, and also that he or she gets a lot of credibility. So I think that would be the starting point for any HR professional.
What is the most important aspect of talent management as well as talent engagement? Is it just about aligning the talent to the service deliverables of the organization, or is it about taking them beyond the defined roles, the structures and everything, and let them reinvent themselves and reinvent the structures and the philosophy of the organization?
Sure, good question. So I think it's a two-way street. Organizations exist for a purpose, and employees as individuals have their own aspirations, right? Those aspirations are about growth, about learning, about development. Now, the best situation is if these two are aligned. What organization's goals are and what my aspirations are. If these two are aligned, then I don't see any challenge in individuals meeting their aspirations or fulfilling their aspirations while continuing to contribute to the organizational success. Challenge may arise when they're two not in line, and that's when these conflicts arise.
What is the unique contribution that this new generation HR can make to the organization, and what is this new generation HR all about? Is it about doing away with, as I said, the stereotypes and redefining their own roles, or is it about going the old way but doing it anew?
Okay, so I can relate to your question to a lot of discussions about, is HR going to go away? Is HR going to vanish? Economic activities. If you ask me, I mean, the two most critical people who will be there with the COR, CFO, and the CHRO. One knows the pulse of the people, other knows the pulse of the business. But HR may not exist in the current form and fashion. I mean, when HR started, it started basically to take care of transactions, and the time has come when people change that focus to move away from transaction, because there is only so much of value add that you can do through transactions, right? And your value to cost ratio will keep diminishing over a period of time. You will have outsource agencies doing that at a fraction of a cost with much more efficiency, fewer errors. You will have a lot more automation kicking in which can take care of that. So unless HR folks orient themselves to do things which these sources can't do, they will be in danger. What it means basically is to retool themselves, understand what business is. There is no part of the business which does not touch upon people. So to understand what is going to be the implication from the people perspective and how can we add value to the business, that's going to be the core of success.
What would you give as a message to the aspirational HR executives, the must-haves they should have as values and as philosophies to take their roles forward?
Sure. One, understand your business pretty well. Understand the numbers. I have seen a lot of HR professionals not being very comfortable about the numbers. You should understand your P&L and balance sheet and the ratios as well as anybody else in the business. If you speak the business language, you'll get the respect.
What is a typical HR perspective? Is it to look at it from the communities they serve, or from the stakeholders' point of view, or from...
Organizations will work in a vacuum where they'll be ignorant or ambivalent to what is happening in the community. All these entities have to coexist, be it the organization, be it the community in which they work, or the employees with which they work. So I don't think it's one facet that will have a... it will. All the facets will have to work together to make it sustainable.
One diversification of HR role that you would suggest will take this the entire community far ahead from the times that we are facing now. No, one diversification in the roles, the role objectives that HR has, that you would suggest would be would work out well for the community, the HR community.
Okay, so I think to some extent it will be repetition, where I said earlier, HR folks need to know the business as much and as well as anybody else knows. They need to be.
But what is the kind of involvement you're suggesting? Is it a boardroom involvement?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. A lot of time I hear about I don't have a seat at the table. I hear that from my from my team members, and my reply to them is, if you don't have a seat at the table, go stand up. Stand near the table. You start understanding what's happening. People will be forced to call you and provide you a seat. But as long as you keep saying I don't have a seat, and hence you are out of this whole discussion, it's not going to help. So if you don't have a seat, go stand near the table, learn, and you'll get a seat. You'll get invited.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.